Hey, and thanks for clicking on Hey Melissa Crochets. I'm Melissa. You won't see Larry in this video only because I told him to nap, because if he's in here with me and I'm moving around, he's not gonna nap. So you won't see the dog today. But something that I wanted to make a video about, which is kind of not what I had planned, but it's just gonna have to be this way. I want to show off my inventory for the markets that I have signed up for. So May 3rd and 4th is like a 2-day market. It's nice because the Saturday doesn't start till 10, so I can get there around like 8:45, 9 and set up, and then I'll probably take my stock home with me that night, but like keep my display items there and stuff, like keep my table set up, but I don't want anything to get stolen or anything, so I'll pack them up, put in the car overnight, lock the car, come home, etc. You know, and then the Sunday is nice because it's, I think, starts at 11 or maybe noon, I can't remember, maybe it's 10 still, I don't know, but it's nice because it's not too early. And then the weekend after that, I have a 1-day market on the 12th, I believe. Yeah, it's the 12th. Unfortunately, I'm missing our town-wide garage sale day, and I love that day. It's been so nice the past few years to be able to go, because when I worked in healthcare, I worked, you know, a lot of weekends. I pick up shifts too as well, so I always had to miss it. And then the past few years, I've been able to go because I was working Monday through Friday. But this year, I was like, go and make money, or go around town and spend a few dollars. So the money thing won at this time. So I look forward to it. It's going to be fun. And that one is about an hour away. Same with the one the weekend before. And yeah, that's only 1-day one. So I think it's 10 till 4, but I'm excited. I used to do their events all the time when I had my old sewing business, and their events are top notch. So I'm excited for that. We'll see how the crochet items do. I think there is a few other crochet vendors at each of these events. Hopefully not too many. But I mean, yeah, I think it would be an issue if it was like, you know, like a smaller event and there was only like 30 vendors and there was 5 crocheters. That of course would be like a detriment to everybody's sales, but these are both larger events, and I know that these 2 organizers do limit things, so yay. And also everybody that crochets, well, most people that crochet, they make different patterns and like different yarns and stuff, right? So I really don't see an issue with it. I think if there was more than 3, then I would have an issue with it. But if there's only like 3 of us, I'm not gonna have an issue, because everything that everybody makes is unique. So this was my intro. I'm gonna do the next clip now that I have my new computer and I can do multiple clips again. I'm so excited. It's been so nice to use it this week. You know, websites load, you know, faster than 11 minutes for one page. Like, it's instant. I'm so excited. So let's get into my inventory. The first piece of inventory I have is my pyramid of possums. I have been making these nonstop because every time I've taken them to markets, I've done, I think, 2 or 3 so far markets, and they sell out every time. I shouldn't say that. I do have one $10 one that hasn't sold, but everybody likes these fat $15 ones. They're just a little bit bigger. So they've been a lot of fun to make, and every time I finish one, I tell my husband the name of the possum. So right now we have Russell, we have Terry, we have Gary. The dog is Larry, that like lives here. And then, you know, just Carl, Doug, I've been naming them. And he's like, why? And I'm like, just because it's fun. So I have these. I think there's 10 there. 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yep, and then I think I have that $10 one, so I have 11 finished up. I am tempted to do the market this Thursday or this Saturday, like the year-round one that I can go to if I want to. But I am afraid of selling a whole bunch of things and not having enough for the upcoming markets I've already paid for. And like those are like larger events, like larger money, dollars, fees and stuff. And then, you know, just, you know, people are there to shop for items like this. At the events I signed up for, it's more of like an artisan craft sale. The year-round one is like a farmer's market. So I'm afraid to take them to the farmer's market just in case I do sell a whole bunch, and then I'm like, oh no. And I don't mean just the possums, I mean like all my inventory. So that's the first thing I was gonna show you. So let's get into this inventory. So I made a whole bunch of sea turtles because they also sell really well for me. I'm not gonna go through all the details. I can try to just not ramble. So I'm just gonna show them off. I believe I have 8 of them in total, and I sell these for $30. If anybody wants a pattern to any of these, just comment below. I'm not gonna put all the details on the screen and stuff. I'll put some details. I'm not gonna put every single pattern on the screen. It's just gonna take too much time for me. And then this one's $35. This is a strawberry turtle I originally wasn't gonna make a strawberry, but then the shell ended up looking like a nipple. So I was like, well, I can't sell a nipple turtle. So I made it into a strawberry. I have this cute one. So all the turtles are $30 except for the strawberry one. I love this one, the mini succulents, Bernat baby blanket, I guess. Mini succulents. I love this color. It's so nice. And the skein, like how it comes, it doesn't look that great, but once you like work it up, it's so nice. I have this cute one. And like the mint in here worked really well with the off-shade mint that I have. So that was great to see. I might have more, I'm gonna have more turtles in the other bag, but I'm not gonna open it right now. So let's continue with this bag because I just don't want to edit all the crinkles and stuff. So you would have seen this in my last video. I just put them in here in my giant tiger bag, is the fidget worms. So I still have 12 in total. I like the sound that it makes. My husband hates it. He's like, stop it. So got these fidget worms. They're the ones with the like the foam hair roller inside. You just make a sleeve around it. With an 8mm hook, I did 7 stitches around. And then they were super simple to make. I made all 12 within an afternoon. And yeah, so I wasn't planning on making any, but I was at the dollar store and then I seen the rollers and I was like, okay, if I seen them, it's meant to be. So I have 12 of those. And I'm selling those for $5 each. Next up is my BAP, my big ass possum. I'm considering it part of my pillow collection just because it's the perfect pillow size. Like, it's not too big, not too small. I am gonna make an even bigger one. I just haven't got there yet. So I do want to make one that's like twice the size of this. And this is the same pattern for like my possums you already seen. I just, you know, double things up type of thing. So I do want to make another one that's like longer, so like a king possum, if you will. I just haven't had the time yet. So this one I'm selling for $25. It's almost the same size as like one of my loaf cats that I have, like the big one. So that's why I priced them the same. I made some more jellyfish because they sold really well last time I went to the market. I had them dangling off the front of my table and I think that really helped. So that's 1, 2. There's sparkle pink. I love the sparkle one. My husband said this is his favorite because I used an ombre, like Bernat blanket ombre. I think the color teal or dark teal, and then it just turned out really cool. There's another teal, just a different teal. This is an off shade I have, and then this is Bernat blanket frosting. It didn't curl very well. I think it's because of the consistency and the texture of the frosting yarn, because all the other ones curled perfectly fine. So I did have to modify it a bit. In the tentacles I did 2 half double as they're called for, but then the next stitch I did 3 half double crochets. So if you're having issues with anything curling, try that. There might be other solutions as well. I just don't know them. I made another Hubble the squid. Remember I did this one during my Amigroomi torture challenge. It was a gray and like white bluish, but that sold. So I wanted to make another one because he ended up being my showstopper. So that was pretty cool. This was the self-striping yarn. This is one of the new Bernat blanket granny squares, and then it just self-stripes, so it turned out pretty cute. And I did the kawaii eyes on it. I still had these eyes left over from Chateau Bornay from our Amberroomi torture challenge. So I was waiting for something perfect to put these eyes on, and that worked out great. Okay, next up I made more baby Dela ducks. They sold really well for me at the market last time because people were looking for a baby gift that was quick and cute, and like not too expensive, so I sell these for $20. Keep in mind these are the baby Dela ducks, they're not like the bigger ones, not like the original pattern. So I believe I made 6 this time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and number 6. So I get 2 of each color. This is a Bernat blanket. Is it the frosting or the speckle? This one's the frosting. I don't know what shade it is though. It's like a brown color. That's the same one. It's like a gray brown because there is one that's definitely more brown. I call this like a rust color. Sorry, it's sunny here, but then there's clouds that come over the sun, so the lighting's a little funny. And then I did some with the color almond. And I do modify the legs on these. I don't like doing the legs how the pattern calls because it takes forever. So I usually just, you know, whip up something quickly. Okay, so these are basically rubber ducks. They're really cute. This is a free pattern I found on Instagram. Again, if you want any of these patterns, just comment below. I'm happy to link you to them. A lot of these patterns are paid for, so I probably like half and half. Half free, half paid for. So I got a purple one, the one that fell is like a multicolor. I'm not going to pick it up because my hands are full. So I got purple. This was like an off shade I had in the back of my shelf from God knows when. No idea. This is like a mint off shade I have. These work up really fast too, which is nice. I think I did these like within like 12 minutes. I did time myself. I got faster and faster. I think the fastest one was about 9 minutes, but that was probably the last one I did. Because eventually you memorize the pattern. And then I did a sparkle yellow. So that's that. I really wanted to find a dinosaur pattern that I liked, because every time I watch YouTube, people have these really cute chubby dinos, as they call them, on their tables, and they're selling them for $10 to $8. And I thought that's a good price point and be, you know, nice to have that. But I don't know, the pattern I found I did not like. So it's this one here. And there's just not enough definition to it, in my opinion. Like I want to be able to see the head a little bit better, and I don't know, I just didn't like it. So it does have nice spikes. I'm selling this one for $10, and it's baby safe because I didn't embroider a face or anything on it yet. I don't know if I will. If it doesn't sell the first weekend, I might put it on for the second weekend. This one I embroidered some eyes on. This is a different pattern, but I didn't like this one either. I'm selling this one for $10. I like the neon to it. That's pretty cool. And then I did find one that I did like, but they took me a bit more time. So I do want to find one that's a little bit more simple and wouldn't take as much time as these. So these take probably close to an hour. I'm selling them for $15. I did a pink sparkle with mint spikes, and then again, I can't remember what this color is called. I think melon, with North Sea stripes. So both burnout blanket shades. But I think they're so cute. When you put them together, it looks like they're hugging. And like their little bellies are touching and kisses. So I think these are adorable. So this is the pattern I liked out of all three of them the most, but I just don't like how much time it takes. That being said, I do plan on batch making a few more, and then of course it will get faster as I did more and more. But I don't feel like I want to keep selling these only for $15. I would want $20 for these, but I'm trying to get a few smaller priced items on my table. Here's another baby Dela duck. This is the mallard version, so I'm charging $25 for him because of all the color changes I had to do. And then he still has a shower curtain hook on him because I hang him on my booth on like a towel rack thingy that I had bought. So it's nice to hang him up. And then I had enough of the sparkle yarn, and I made the feet too big for a baby Dela duck, so I was like, you know what, I'm just going to make another one. Then I just kind of upsized them a bit. I can't remember exactly how I did it, but I think I just added, I didn't do them twice the size, but close to that. So that's that for this one. I still have this anonymous bear. I always call them anonymous bears when I don't really put a face on them. And like this one, I tried to put black face, like black eyes on her, but like it just looked demonic, like that Highland cow we did for the Amberroomi torture challenge. But either way, it's super cute. I'm only charging $20 for this one. It's just kind of something I'd freehanded. I had found like a bear online, like on Instagram for free. I used the head and then I just kind of freehanded the body. Oh, here's a Dela duck again, a baby one. So that would have been left over from a few weeks ago. So that's the only cream color one I have. That one sold really well, that color. This one, oh, I love her. She's so cute. This is by Olive Knots. It's a paid for pattern I got on Etsy. I'm selling her for $35, and she's a snuggler, so she's flat, not stuffed, except for the head. And just so cute. I'm surprised nobody's bought this one yet, but you know, I didn't have her front and center like I had some of the other ones that sold, so maybe next time she'll sell. There's another bear that I freehanded. Just I wanted to use up this purple yarn because I had a lot of it. So I figured I might as well. And I'm also I'm charging $25 for this one, but I might mark it down to $20 to match that other bear. I don't know yet. I still have Scrappy Bear. Nobody's been interested in Scrappy Bear from the Amigroomi torture challenge yet, but that's okay. Eventually he'll sell. Somebody will love him. If not, I'll give him to my nephew. I have one teeny tiny sea turtle. I'm asking $15 for this guy. Just super cute. I think it was a free pattern I found on Instagram, and I don't know if I'll make any more. It was a bit more time consuming than I wanted it to be. And if I can keep selling like those big sea turtles that I've already shown you for, I can keep selling those. They're $30. And like people really love those. I've sold out almost every time. I did make some loaf cats. I had them at my last market, like at the farmer's market, and none of them sold. I had 4 and I still have 4. People will be like, oh, that's a cute cat. But then I think they probably see them at other people's booths and they're like, I can get them anywhere. But that's okay. So I have this nice speckle one, this one here. I like it's like a salmon color that I use for the whiskers. It's a really nice one. That's that new mystical yarn. I don't know what color it's called though. This is an off shade of Bernat Blanket Speckle. I don't know if this one is ever released, but I love this one with the green eyes. It turned out so cute. And I have been using 18mm on the Loaf Cats. I just like that size the best for the eyes. And then this adorable one. I don't put the X on the butthole just because, I mean, if it was maybe solid color, maybe I would, but I'm not gonna bother with these. Okay, we're on to the second bag now. So here's some more turtles. Like a purple, lilac, blue, gray, rose. It is a nice one. It's Bernat Baby Blanket, but I don't know the shade name. I have a hippo. Nobody's picked this one up yet, but I guess it is kind of hard to tell what it is. I tried to put eyes on it. I want to keep it baby safe. And then the embroidered eyes, I don't know. I just couldn't find a color that looked nice. Maybe a navy, but I don't know. I tried it. It just didn't look nice for the eyes. So right now it's eyeless, but that's okay. It's still cute. Asking $25 for him. If I move him down to 15, I might get him to sell. But also I haven't placed him like prominently on my table. Like he's always been like on shelf with other things, so we'll see. I think it also depends on how you display things on your table. I found that with my sewing business, and I've heard other people on YouTube say that as well. So here's a nice blue turtle. This one I really love. This is Red Ribbon. It's one of the newer Bernat Baby Blanket colors. This is what we made the bull dragon out of in the Amberroomi torture challenge. He's still up on my shelf. Don't worry, I haven't sold him. I don't plan to. This was a free Instagram pattern, believe it or not, and just so freaking adorable. It took me 3 hours to make, but that's okay because it was worth it. And it was easy to understand. It was just a lot of counting and this and that, and you know, make sure everything's in the right place, for example. So this, and like a lot of sewing. So you had to like sew on all the paws, legs, whatever. But that's okay, I didn't mind because how cute it turned out. You had to sew on the tail, you had to sew on the crown, the horns as well, and the muzzle you worked from like the front. You did the bubbles, and then you worked to the back of the head. So that like the body and the head were easy. It was just a lot of sewing, and I hope she sells because just so cute. I know she's $50, and I think if anywhere I could sell her at the market on May 12th because it's in like a richer town. So that event, I'm hoping that I have some higher priced items for. Of course, I'd love to sell them before, but I'm gonna display them prominently at that market for sure. These eyes are square, which was really cool. These are also from Chateau Bornay. I had them left over from the torture challenge. She had included these in the mystery box I had bought from her, and I was waiting for the perfect thing to put them on. Couldn't find anything, but as soon as I seen like how like the face and like the head was shaping, I was like, those could be perfect, and they are. So I love them. It's the only square eyes I've ever had. I still have a piggy, adorable, $25. And this pattern is by Old Soul Factory. Tara T. I love watching her channel here. I still have this cute duck. I'm surprised he hasn't sold. So many people have picked him up and been like, oh, that's adorable. He's $30 though, so I think people will look over and then they see the baby Dela ducks for $20, and then they end up purchasing that, but that's okay. Eventually he will sell. Also a free Instagram pattern. I really like the colors I chose. This, I think it's called Country Blue or Countryside. There's two, like the variegated that matches this one is either Countryside or Country Style, whatever. But the blue is really nice, and I paired it with gold. This is a bear I had free-handed, I believe. I want to say, yeah, I'm pretty sure I free-handed it. Some people pick it up and say, is that a koala? I think because of the ears, you can kind of like see through the magic ring, but I didn't change it and I don't want to, so. I think he's super cute. I'm selling him for $20. I did have somebody message me looking for a teddy bear for the farmer's market, and I sent her a picture of this guy. And I had said, I have this one for $20, so we'll see if she gets back to me. She was looking for a teddy bear last time, but I didn't have any at that point. This is a paid for pattern, and oh, it's so cute. It's by Curious Papaya. She has a website with like a whole bunch of patterns. On her Etsy, she only has a few patterns, but I checked out her website, and there's so many of them I want to make. So I'm excited to keep purchasing her patterns, and they're really well written. And this, you didn't really have to sew anything on besides the tail and maybe the ears. I don't remember. Maybe the muzzle. Yeah, you had to sew on the muzzle. But the ears are worked into the round. But yeah, so the tail and the muzzle you have to sew on. But he's just so cute because how floppy he is. I sell these for $40 and I've had no problem selling them at that price. Oh, sorry, this one's $30. I sell them. I don't remember now. I thought maybe I had sold it for $40, but I guess I have marked it $30, so I'm just crazy, but that's okay. I did do a belly patch on this one because the almond color matched silver steel. This color is silver steel. I hate this color, but I had it, so I used it. And then I did a belly patch of almond because I wasn't sure if I was going to run out or not of silver steel. I believe I had was really close to yarn chicken, so it was a good thing I did this. And I also did the tips and it's like little feet and the tips of the ears as the almond color and the muzzle. And I did the eyes in the almond color. I don't really like them that much, but there was no other color that worked well. Black looked demonic again. Brown looked just off, so not much I can do about it. And I didn't want to put safety eyes in them because they're so perfect for little babies. So if you're anybody like expecting a child soon and you have a family dog, I think these are the perfect gift for them. So again, this one's super floppy and cute. This one I did the brown eyes on and turned out great. This is the mystical yarn, the newer stuff. This one's also priced at $30. So he's just so cute. I love these. And they're so huggable. And I can't wait to make more of them. So Curious Papaya, and I believe she calls them palm, like palm your hand puppies, like palm puppies. So cute. I think she used, like in her pattern, she used like Premier, so it turns out smaller, but I only use burnout blanket, as you can see. So that's how it turned out. Oh, here's another octopus. This is the jellyfish. This is the one I had left over from last time. I had taken 3 and both of the blue ones sold like instantly, and then I have this one left. I know it's not really like a jellyfish color, so maybe that's why, but it'll sell eventually. I love that one. I might keep it for myself. Okay, I have my big bear. I've been calling him brown bear, I guess. I had him listed for $45. I'm hoping that this one stays with me for the market, the second one on May 12th, just because he's higher priced. This is a bit of a weird pattern. I originally started making the body, and it was a free pattern Instagram for an owl. But then I should have read the comments first because everybody said, this is way too confusing, don't waste your time, don't do it. You know, so I got to like here and I was like, oh, okay. So I had to start freehanding something. So I finished the body and then I made legs and arms pretty easy to freehand. I made a little tail. And then I had to find like a bear head pattern, which I had used for that purple bear we've already looked at. So same pattern for the head. And I love the way the ears are worked. So basically, you know, it's a magic circle and then you expand it a bit and then you sew them on instead of sewing them into the head, which yes is easier to sew them into the head, but I like the way they poke up. So I did mess up the safety eyes on this one. One of them I installed a little paper piece backwards, but you know what, it's the first time it's happened to me and poo happens. So, and if anybody does pick them up, I have been telling them, like, just so you know, one of the eyes is a little wonky. This one is by Hooks and Healers. Can't remember what she called the pattern off the top of my head, but it's the kitty pattern she just released. Georgie the cat, maybe. But I wanted to do something scrappy because I had a whole bunch of scraps to use up. And turned out super cute. He's a lot bigger than I thought he would be. So I am asking $40 for him or her or whichever. But I like the scrappy look. So hopefully somebody else sees it and loves it. I did put safety eyes on this one. Just because, you know, when I made the body first, and I was like, you know what, it's gonna be way too big for a baby, so I can put safety eyes on it because it's not gonna go to a child under 3 because of how big it is. I think it's 23 inches in height because I had measured it, being like, oh, but that's okay. Either way, adorable, and I love the way she had you work up the paws. Just so cute. No, I didn't do them on the legs. You don't call for it on the legs, but hey, adorable. I still have my Parasaurolophus fists. I've been practicing that, by the way, from the torture challenge. He hasn't sold yet, but I do have him priced at $75 because of how big he is. So maybe he'll sell at the market on May 12th. We'll see. I mean, I won't be super sad if he doesn't sell. Like, I'll just keep him in my office just because of how cute he is. And this one I am pretty proud of. So if he doesn't sell, he'll be a permanent fixture in here. I have a butterfly. I made this a while ago, not for the torture challenge, but like soon after. It's a free Instagram pattern. And the wings are hearts, which I thought was super cute because I've seen other patterns that had like regular wings but not hearts, and I thought that was adorable. So when people ask what it is, I say it's a heart butterfly and I show them the wings. So $30 for her. This one I could mark down to 20, but if it doesn't sell after May 12th, then I'll mark it down. But for now, she's sticking with $30. And as I said, same with the hippo. I haven't had her displayed like prominently on my table. She's always been on the shelf with other things and not super noticeable. I'm hoping for one of these events I could take a second table and display things a bit more spread out, but we'll see. I don't know yet. I have to look at my space options because I don't remember what they are. Here is the big Loaf Cat that I have for $25. This is the one I made the nose like a heart. Super cute. It's like a white butthole. I should put the X on this one just because of just the way the butthole worked out. It would be cute with an X there. I just haven't done that. So this is like a, remember the big ass possum earlier? It's kind of like in the same realm. This one's a bit longer just because of the way the yarn. It's one of the thicker burlap blankets, like the older formula. So I'm calling this like a pillow pet just because it's a great pillow. It really is. I still have my elephant from the torture challenge. This one is $60. I'm not lowering the price on this one just because of how long it took me and how painful it was to make because I made it out of Softy Chunky. So an acrylic yarn, and it's a 6 weight. And then the eyeball had fallen out of this one. I think I had showed it off on one of my videos. I was setting up for the first day of the farmer's market, and then I sat on the table and the eyeball popped out. And I was like, thank God that didn't happen in front of anybody because that's embarrassing. So I brought him home, of course, and just hot glued the eye back in. You could still see like the dome snap like right behind it, like the dome thing. It's like, son of a bee, but oh well. So either way, adorable. People always love him. Like they pick him up and, you know, and I tell them, I'm like, he's $60 because of how long he took me and how painful it was to make the trunk, etc. And people are like, oh, we totally understand. It's just not in the budget. And I said, that's fine. You know, I said, if it was a different toy and you had a different budget, I would offer that, but not with this one. So eventually he's going to sell. I have a loaf unicorn, and this is by the D'Souza sisters on Etsy. It's a 12-year-old that designs all these patterns, and I was like, wow, okay, all right, because I bought the pattern, and then they messaged me instantly saying, hey, thanks for buying our pattern. If you need any help, let us know. And I was like, oh, that's nice. And it was the mom that runs the Etsy account, and they were like, oh, it's our 12-year-old daughter that makes the patterns, and I'm like, okay, cool. So that's awesome. So this is like it's basically a loaf cat, but it's a unicorn, and it's just so cute. And it was a great way to use up some colorful scraps because I had some of this yarn left over. It was like an off-shade speckle thing that was never released, and I got it for free from my former workplace. And I was like, I need something to do with this yarn. It'll make a good unicorn. And then I couldn't find a unicorn pattern that I liked, and then I watched somebody's video about unicorn patterns, and they found one, but I was like, I don't like for this yarn. So I found this on Etsy, and I'm definitely gonna make more. I have made 2. I have the purple, like this purple here on a different unicorn, but I have that at a store that I started stocking. So that's where that one is, but I still have this one for my table, and she does get a lot of good looks, and people are like, what is that thing? And I'm like, it's a unicorn. So you see the spike and you see the mane, but it's just a fun pattern. I have these 2 axolottles. I've taken them to one market so far, like a farmer's market, and I'm charging $15 for this pattern. I had made a different axolotl pattern. The other one I had made was by Loops and Knots, and it was the free one on our Instagram, and like they're so tiny, and I hated making it because it hurt my hands so much, so I wanted a fatter one that wouldn't be as painful on my hands, and these were pretty fast. I think within half an hour I had one of them done, and then I had batch made, I think, 4 of these, and 2 of them sold in the market, just not these teal ones. So this was fun. This was one of the burlap blanket ombres, and so I use, you know, the inside of the skein for this one, and then the outside for this one, then I, you know, kind of swap the gills type thing. So I thought they were super cute, and they do have bobble legs, so it's just kind of hard to see on video, especially the dark one, but I think they're adorable. I have one palm-sized turtle right now. I do want to make more of these because they sell. I charge $15 for these, and yeah, I think it's super. I love the little tail. It's just adorable. I don't remember if this was a paid pattern I got on Etsy or if it was a free Instagram pattern. I don't remember. But if you want it, I will find it for you because I want to make more. So I'm hoping I have the pattern saved somewhere. So super cute and pretty fast to work up, which was nice. And again, you get to play with the colors for the shell. That's something I really enjoy because there's a lot of variegated or off-shade yarns that I have and I need to use them up. So next up is this cute bunny. I made him right after the torture challenge just because Easter was coming up. Easter's now passed. Today is the 22nd. So Easter was this past weekend. I'm charging $10 for him. He hasn't really got a lot of attention. Even though I have had him sitting like in front of my booth, I think people just, you know, they don't see the cotton tail at first. So I think maybe I'll face him out this time, like his tail out, and people understand it's more of a bunny. I might embroider a face on him now that I've taken him to like 3 markets and nobody's really paid attention to him. So I think this one I'm gonna embroider a face on. Next up, I have some chickens. This is not the Mabel chicken pattern. This is a free pattern I found on Instagram. I do like it better than Mabel chickens because it actually has a head where you kind of build it up. So you do like the bowl portion and then you stop when there's still, I think, 9 or 10 stitches left and do 3 rounds of head and then do the comb on top of that. So this one I have for 15. It's like a medium size. I'm trying to stick with certain sizes. So these are both 15. It's like a medium size. I wish I had written down, you know, how many rows I did for medium, large, and small, but I didn't. So yay for me. So basically they're all gonna be different sizes. This one I have for 20. It's the only $20 one because I wanted something a little bit bigger than this, but this is the first one I made, so then I kind of worked off of that. So I have this one listed for 20. As I said, it's the only $20 one. I do have some I did have some $25 ones, but those have sold and they're a little bit bigger. I did buy some of the weighted pellets from Amazon. When I make these next, I want to put some weight in them just because people have been using them as door stuffers and that's been pretty fun. So, and I've been enjoying doing the frills on the back of some of them. And then I have a little $10 one. I've been calling these pocket chickens because they're so tiny and cute. So that's that. The next thing I have to show you are keychains. I didn't plan on making any keychains because I just really don't have the interest, but I am making them because I was an idiot and my husband and I had went to the city and we were at Dollar Tree because we don't really go to Dollar Tree, but my friend had recommended it and that's when I started decorating my office. So I wanted to see what they had. And then I seen they had yarn. So I ended up purchasing probably close to 20 of these just chenille yarns because this is right before we started the Amigroomi challenge. And I was like, oh, okay, people make Amberroomi with chenille yarn all the time. But then I started working with it and I absolutely hated it because of how thin it is. So I was like, you know what, Melissa, yes, you could sell these. Yes, you could donate them, but to tell yourself to not do that again without trying one first and not buying 20, you're using them. So I have gotten through 3 or 4, I think, so far. I'm just making little keychains. And then I also have this yarn from Temu. This is the yarn that I've accidentally ordered 3 times in a row just because it looks different every time on Temu, but it does work out really cute. So I have been using some of it. Not very much, as you can see, but eventually it'll be used up. It is nice. I like that one more than I like this stuff. So I've been using just a 4.5mm hook or a 5mm, depending on the little pattern I'm doing. I'm using all free Instagram patterns for the keychains because I'm not going to purchase something for a keychain. So the first ones I've been making are these cute little 3D flowers. So you make like a little ball basically, and then there's one row where you do front loop only, and then the other loop you go around when you're finished the ball and make the petals. So I have, I don't know, a bunch of these, I think 7 or 8. And then the pink works out really cute, and the inside has been that Temu yarn, and like it's variegated, so it turns out different every time. And then all the colors that I have of the Premier yarn have worked really well with it. So, and that's the last color there. This one I didn't make into a ball, it was kind of like a half a ball because I wanted to see how it looked. So I have those. And then I also have these little mini whales, and this is the free pattern all from Jade here on Instagram. And I had these in my $5 bin in the market recently, but nobody picked these up. They seen them, they're like, oh, those are cute, but nobody can pay $5 for a tiny little whale like this. I understand, I wouldn't either. So I'm gonna make a few more of these because I think I only have it in this color. Yeah, so I have 4 in this color, and that's it. So I'm gonna make some more of the other colors. And then for the belly, I've been using that Temu yarn. So I want to put those on keychains. I have keychain thingies ordered from Amazon, no, from Temu. Here's the first flower one I made. It turned out a little bit bigger than I wanted, so I just modified it after that. And then I also seen a cute little pattern for these little jellyfish or octopus. I don't care what you call them. I think jellyfish more so. So I'm just gonna put those on a little keychain. So I have that one. This is solely from the Temu yarn. So I like this one. This yarn is really, really soft. I like this yarn. It's a little thin from what I like, but it'll do. And then I also have a pink and purple one. So that's what I have so far for keychains. Oh wait, no, sorry, I'm wrong. I also made, I think 8 of these in total. These are the little Stardew chickens. There's a mobile, I think it's a mobile phone game. So like an iPhone or a smartphone game you can play called Stardew Valley. I've never played it. I've looked into it. It doesn't excite me. But I guess they have blue chickens with purple combs. So I've seen other people making them on Instagram and on YouTube. So I'm like, okay, I have this yarn, so I'm gonna do it. And the aqua or whatever it is of the Premier yarn works out perfectly for the color. So it's like an aqua, and then I did the purple for the comb. So I think I made 8 of those so far, of the chickens. And then this is all the keychain thingies I have so far. I'm just waiting on the keychain pieces, I guess, to arrive. I apologize if you now hear my neighbor mowing his lawn. Last video it was the neighbor across the road, but now it's the neighbor right next to us, but that's okay. It happens. So apologies. It'll get louder as he gets closer to the house here, but that's okay, whatever. So because of my ADHD brain, I am diagnosed and medicated. Because of the way my brain works / doesn't work sometimes, I needed to come up with an inventory system, because looking at those 2 bags over there, I'm like, I don't have enough. But then when I put it into a spreadsheet, I'm like, okay, I'm doing pretty decent. It's not so bad. So I needed a system that worked for me. But first I needed like a game plan, if you will. So I use ChatGPT AI for conversations sometimes, and like, you know, to brainstorm and bounce ideas off of each other. And honestly, it's been really helpful. I know a lot of people don't use it or refuse to use it, and that's fine. All the power to you. But I was like, you know what, I'm gonna see if it comes up with a plan for me. I'm just gonna, you know, ask it for one little thing. And it worked. It was great. I basically had said I'm having conflicting thoughts about signing up for Market on May 12th because I have one the week before. What are your thoughts on this? And then ChatGPT, or I have given him a nickname as Chatty. So Chatty told me, you know, you could play up exclusivity. If you sell a lot the first weekend, the next weekend just put a sign out saying like, this is all I have right now. You know, limited edition, blah, 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 you know what I'm saying. So I was like, okay, that's not a bad idea. And then he was like, well, how about we pretend for now that and I have since then paid for my booth at that table, or at that market. And he was like, well, how about for now we pretend that you're doing both, and we do like a week by week game plan of what you should be focusing on. You know, 1 week you're making this size / price range of items, and then the next week you're focusing on larger items, how many per day, etc. So I was like, okay, let's do that. So it worked really well. I really enjoyed it. So ChatGPT is free to use, but if you want to save your conversations with them or him or it or whatever, then you have to sign up for an account, which I did do. It's still free. You just have like limited interactions, and I don't use it often. If I was using it more often, I do think it would be worth it for a subscription, but I don't really use it that much. So came up with a game plan for me, and it said, well, how much inventory do you want to have, like price wise? So I had said 1,500 at the minimum. I want to have some smaller priced items, and then it came up with a game plan for that. And then I had said I want to adjust the totals a little bit, because it wanted me to have $600 worth of large items, and I didn't want that. So I said $300 worth of large items, so like that Parasaurolophus, for example, and then $600 of the $20 to $35 range, and then $600 of the $10 to $15 range. So it worked that out for me, and it told me, you know, how many I have to make per week in order to achieve my goals by a certain date. So that was really awesome. And then on my own, what I ended up doing, I like to use Google products because I can access them from my smartphone, and then also from my brand new computer and my old computer, but not in the end. So that's been really helpful. I just, you know, titled it Ami Inventory and stuff, and I will show it to you now. And I'll show you exactly different tabs that I'm using, just in case you want to have some ideas of your own. Okay, I'm hoping that this works out okay, just because it's hard to film a screen. But I don't want to do a screen recording just because I don't know how to do it yet with my new computer. So over here I just have, here's my $35 plus cost section, and then I've been doing like a sum so I can see where I'm at. Right now the sum's still at $285, so I do want to add one more item to get me to the $300 range or inventory count, I guess. And then this is my $20 to $35 section, and right now my sum is at $875, so I know I have enough because remember I said I wanted to get it up to $600 right there. And then it's been nice because I've been, you know, making notes and stuff for myself of, you know, like I really loved, you know, the sea turtle I made is from CJ's Designs. It was confusing to work the shell and the body, like, you know, when you start the body after the shell, but it was easy to modify. So just, you know, so I can remember exactly what was next and like what I wanted to work on next and etc. So like Baby Bella Ducks, remember I said I had modified the legs, so I just wrote a note saying super fast with my mods. And then I have a $10 to $15 cost. I gotta update this. I haven't updated yet today, but I finished all those possums. And they are 15 each, except for that small one is the 10. So you get the idea here. Right now my sum is still at $320, but with finishing those possums it'll go up quite a bit. And then I want to get it up to $600 for that. And then the most helpful part that I have added here is my to be worked on list. So you can see up here I have like the project, the piece, the different pieces in the pattern, I guess. So like nose and face for the possums, I did those first, and then I worked on the bodies because that's when you add like the bobble stitches for the legs, etc. So I made 10 of them. That's what I put. That's how many I wanted to make. And then when they're finished, I can just, you know, do the whole strike out thing here. And then I usually put it, fill it with green, because in my mind, green means good to go. Like, you don't need to make any more, you're good to go, Melissa. So that's just how I think of it. I've always thought of it that way, and that's how I did it at my corporate job and everything too. So here is a section for keychains using the Just Chenille. So you can see I already have some stroke, like using the strike out or whatever you want to call that. Yeah, strike through, that's what it's called. So I still want to make a few more things. I want to get up to 30. These were just some numbers I was playing with for them. Crochet Customs has this really cute little octopus that she sells really well at market, so I want to make a few of those from her pattern. Then I want to make some more big possums, some more of those standing dinos that I was talking about earlier, and then some more of those. Oh, you know what? I have some of these axolottles made, but I haven't shown them off yet, so I'll do that next. And then some more of the tiny turtles, the palm turtles that I showed you earlier. And then I've also been marking down what has sold at the markets and stuff. Well, I guess for one market I started doing this because I created this spreadsheet on April 4th. So I've done one market since then. That was on April 12th. And then, so the next time things sell, I'll just come down here and paste them down here and then keep like the date on it. So as you can see right there, it says all sold on April 12th. So it's nice to do that. And then since I have that done, I can just go here and then look at the sum, which is all the way down here. And that day I sold $364 worth of things. And it's just cool to see and keep track of what is sold, what's not selling, what I can modify, what people are asking for. So basically any type of, you know, questions or notes that I need for myself, I keep it all on this spreadsheet. Here's the axolotl pattern I was just talking about. It is by Natalie's Crochet Creations. I pulled it up. It's a free pattern on her Instagram, and this is the yeah, I guess this is the Amigroomi pattern I'm gonna stick with, but I meant to say axolotl. So they're super cute. I haven't put the gills on them yet just because I've been batch crocheting these, so at least two I have finished. I guess in Minecraft, the actual game, the most rare axolotl you can get by like leveling up or whatever is blue, so I've been trying to make some blue ones because, you know, kids come up to my booth and they tell me that. I'm like, okay, that's nice. I had no interest in playing that game. I mean, I do like phone games, but I don't really care about Minecraft. Maybe if I played it I would, but eh. So I haven't done the gills on them yet, but I'm gonna stick with this pattern. And like even without it, it still looks like a little chameleon. You put like spikes up top type thing, so that's a thought. But I like the way they turned out, and I really like how this is like self-striping. I don't remember the name of it, but it's this yarn here. It's Bernat Blanket, of course. So I have those two halfway finished. So they were on my spreadsheet of to make, so I still have to finish more. And it's nice on that spreadsheet, I can put how many I want to make still, and then like, you know, how many I've finished, etc. So that's been really handy to have, and so, you know, it's nice to have that as my second brain. You know, I kind of upload all my info onto that and just kind of keep myself on track for all this. I was saying to my husband last night, I was like, you know, if I sell everything that I have at these two markets, am I going to keep making Amberroomi? I mean, I'm kind of addicted right now, yes. And like taking it to the farmer's market has been profitable. I sell a good amount every time. I think the least amount I've sold at like a one-day thing is $250 worth. So, I mean, not bad. And it's nice because I can go anytime that I want. Like a Thursday or a Saturday is when they're open. They do Tuesdays in the summer as well, but they're not as busy. So we'll see. I don't know. If it's a nice weather day, yeah, I'm gonna go. And honestly, something that I really do enjoy about Amigroomi is being able to use up some of the, you know, one-off skeins that I have, because, you know, working for Spinrite for 5 years, I accumulated a lot of free yarn. And you know, there's yarns that I've had sitting on my shelf now for probably close to 5 years, and I just haven't had a use for them yet. And Amberroomi's been really great for that. So during the torture challenge, if you remember, Larry had picked out yarns that I had set down, and a lot of them were those one-off skeins, or you know, just something I only had one of, or it was an off shade, and that was really helpful because what else am I going to use it for? Like, to make a cardigan and to make it like pretty and like striped, I usually only use 2 colors. I don't like to put more than that in a cardigan unless they were like, you know, coordinating colors that are like kind of made to coordinate, because it gets too busy if you add more than 2. So I usually do a solid and then I do like a variegated, or like a solid and a solid. But for the cardigans, you need usually like 2 full skeins of the solid and probably 2 full skeins of the variegated. And that includes the sleeves and everything in the trim around the front as well. So that's been nice, you know, to use for the Amberroomi projects. And honestly, it's going to depend on how far into my stash I get with Amberroomi. There are, you know, some colors I've had to go to the store and buy. So like making those possums, I had to get like the, I think it's called Vapor Gray. I had to get like cream, vintage cream or vintage white. I don't remember what it's called. And then like, I had some black here still. That was like an off quality type thing. And then also like pink. I think it's just called like light pink. It might be baby blanket or regular blanket. So example, like for that, for example, I had to go to the store and get more. But if they're going to keep selling that well, and I can sell it every time, I'm going to keep making them for that reason, to keep selling. And yeah, I think that's really all I have to say right now. I do have a 3rd event in May. I went a little crazy, but like they all came up in May. I don't really like doing shows in June and July just because of my asthma. And June and July, sometimes August, here in Ontario, Canada, is so humid, and my asthma can't stand the humidity. We had one humid day last week and I took my puffer 4 times. And I now have a stronger puffer for that reason. So I just, in the summer, I don't like to sign up for a lot of things. But if we have like a cool, somewhat breezy day, I'll go to the farmer's market. So I haven't signed up for anything in June and July, but the last one I have signed up for, like not holiday wise, is May 30th and 31st. That's the one in Niagara Falls I was telling you about. And I'm not planning on taking any animals there because I never said I was going to. I only signed up for the swimsuit pet. Like I had said, I told the organizers when I filled out the application, it's a very extensive application, but I'm thankful it was, because they check to see if things are handmade. You make them yourself. You're not like a reseller, you know, buying things online then reselling them. So I do appreciate when market organizers do that now. And I tell them that. I'm like, I appreciate you doing this. I appreciate you doing a juried show and making sure things are handmade and not including, you know, 6 of the same vendor category, etc. It's nice when they look out for their vendors that are paying them a fee to do that. So when I had filled out that application, I had said the only things I want to bring, and I'm making these exclusively for this market, I haven't made them yet, were the swimsuit cover-ups that I've been making out of Bernat Maker, and then also some accessories to go with it. That's something else that I'd used AI for. I had asked Chatty, I had said, you know, I'm making swimsuit cover-ups for an event. I want some accessories to go with it, just in case somebody doesn't want a swimsuit cover-up for X amount of dollars. I haven't figured that part out yet, the price. And he was like, okay, well, how about we do some bucket hats? So I'm making bucket hats. Market tote bags I've been wanting to make, like those mesh market bags, but they take forever and I just really don't have the interest. I also want to do some like, basically some foundation chains, or maybe I-cord. I haven't made those yet, but foundation chains I've been doing to make like a little belt to go around like the swimsuit cover up, and then they can mix and match. So if they want like a yellow belt with a purple cover up, they can do that if they want. So I can have those separate, and then I can do like a price bundle deal. So like buy all 3 items, save $10, for example. I still have to figure out the pricing on those things, but right now I'm just making them. I have been doing well with those. I will do a separate video on what inventory I have built up for that. I'm still working on it, and I'll show you my spreadsheet tab. You may have seen it on there at the bottom. I'll show you that tab as well and how I've been keeping track of those things. So since filming those other clips, I have finished a few other things that I just want to show off. So I will say that the bees that I made, so like these little bees that everybody else makes, I did have some people ask for them at my last market, so I really didn't want to make them because everybody else is making them and I like to be unique, but since people were asking for them, I thought, you know what, I might as well. So these I have decided I'm going to put on the keychain clip thingies. I wasn't really planning to. I was planning to put them either in the $5 bin or the mystery boxes. My husband thought people wouldn't pay $5 for them, so they would be a good mystery box item, and I do agree with him on that. But I'm going to put them on the clips. As long as they look good, they're not too big. I did make some different sizes, kind of played around with it. So I did a pink one, a purple one, and all this yarn is actually from something I had deconstructed. It had different colors in it that didn't look nice in my opinion, so I just took out all the colors. So, except for this one, this was from a scrap I had left over. And then the smallest one I made, I believe, is 18 stitches in total around. All the other ones were 24, so just skip the fourth increase row. So 6, 12, then 18, and then 2 stripes on each of them. So I did 5 of those. And I needed to get to 30 keychains, just because I ordered 30 keychain thingies. So the clips and then like little ropes I was talking about. So this morning I made a cute little mouse. I thought it was so cute. I found like a free pattern on Instagram, and it was called Mr. Squeakers, and I was like, okay, I gotta click on that. Then I made a cute little strawberry. I only did one, just because it was more time consuming than I wanted it to be, and so hard to make because they're so small and fiddly widdly. I did a fruit slice, kind of watermelon, kind of dragon fruit. I don't know. I have limited colors, as you know, right? So I didn't know what to do. Then I did another pink fruit slice, and then the seeds, I did that nice ombre yarn I got from Temu. So that's everything I made for the keychains. That got me to 30, so yay, that's very exciting. So I don't want to do any more. I want to use up that yarn. I do have quite a bit left still, because those won't take a lot. But if they sew well at this upcoming 2 markets that I have, maybe I would make more with that chenille yarn, because I want to punish myself, to teach myself a lesson that I need to use up the yarn that I bought without trying first and realizing that I hated it. So it's going to teach me a lesson. So we'll see if I stick with that. I did put a face on this little bunny. So remember, I didn't have a face on it before. I did use acrylic yarn, so like a worsted 4 weight, like Bernat Super Value. I have been doing a lot of them with blanket yarn, but then I had seen, what's her name on YouTube? Awestruck Crochet. She did a tutorial of like embroidered eyes and stuff and how to put like the white on and, you know, that and this, and I didn't do the white part, but I thought, you know what, with the worsted weight yarn, it actually looks a lot better than what I have been doing with blanket yarn, so going forward, I might do some more with the acrylic. But it looks really nice, and I put little blush marks on him. That was the first time I ever did blush marks on a plushie, so that was cool. So maybe he will sell now for $10 instead of a faceless bunny. And that's fine. So you've seen these last clip, but I didn't have the gills on yet. These are my axolottles. So I didn't have the gills on them yet. But here they are with the gills on, and the gills and the frills. So frills on the back and gills at the front, I think. Maybe they're all called frills. I don't know. I'm not an expert on axolotls. So I got those 2 finished up. And then I made 4 more, so I want to do 6 in total. So this is like an orange that I had from that deconstructed ball that I was talking about with the bees. And then I did North Sea for the frills. And then this yarn here is called Pretty Girl. And I was telling my husband last night, I said I really like using the variegated yarns on these because they kind of pool in like fun spots. So that's really neat to see. And then I did like a pink that I had also deconstructed from a different skein. So that's something nice about Amberroomi. You can basically use up any piece of yarn you have. This is a full skein of pink that I have. I think it's old formula because, well, you can tell. And so I just wanted to use it up. I did blue sparkle eyes on this one. I think all of them have sparkle eyes except for this guy. I had to put the little paper thingies on backwards just because none of the sparkle colors I left look good with it, so that's fine. And then the frills and the gill, here, whatever. The other pieces are the pretty girl. So basically these are just like reverse, which is pretty nice. And then out of the new mystical yarn, the green one, I don't know what color it's called, I did this cutie pie. This one I did green sparkle eyes. I'll take off the little paper. The green little sparkle eyes. And then the frills are the color Malachite. I might pronounce that wrong. It might be Malachite. I don't know. But the dark green. So he's super cute. I really like this one. So very nice. Welcome to another angle yet again that you've never seen before. So this is facing the front of our house, which is that way there. So my Temu order arrived. Remember I was talking about it. I ordered the keychain supplies and some more safety eyes and who knows what else. It was a few days ago now, so I don't remember. So last time I ordered from Temu, I had got, you know, a whole bunch of different sizes, and then I put these little stickers on that I got at the dollar store and this container at the dollar store. So that's how I've been organizing them, and that's been really nice. But the problem being, I have found, and maybe you guys have found this too who make plushies, that, so say you order 2 different sets of 18mm. So these, for example, they are 2 different types that came from 2 different orders. So I don't know if you, it's hard to see, especially how you have to hold them. So one of them is a bit more of a square peg, and this one's more rounded. And then, of course, the backs are different. But I didn't realize that at first. So every time that I put them on, I'm like, what back goes with what post? And it's, yesterday I probably spent, because I made those axolotls yesterday, I spent, I don't know, half an hour just trying to put safety eyes on those things, because I batched the heads first, because they're all different colors, so I could just keep going down the skeins of yarn, and just trying to figure out what backs go on what post was such a pain in the butt. Something I am struggling with like crazy is getting these stupid backs on these plushies, or safety eyes, I guess. So the ones that are a little bit more elevated, they suck. I hate them a lot. So here you go. Here's a better view. In this bag of Temu stuff, I did order one of the tools to put the eyes on because it's just killing my fingers, and just no thank you. So I'm hoping that helps quite a bit, and I can give my fingers a bit of a relief. Something else I did purchase that was at a local yarn store. I'll give you the business name. It's Amis by Angel, Anjali maybe. Sorry, I don't know how to pronounce her name. But it's one of the safety eye tools. So basically when you're putting a safety eye on, I'll grab a 25mm for example. You set it in here, and then as you're pressing down, this sits on a flat surface. And it's easier to snap into. You put your body weight on it type thing, and it keeps your eyes from, you know, sliding everywhere, etc. And, like, you know, not getting scratched. So I do like this tool. I do use it quite a bit. Let's open this Temu bag. I'm going to pause the video so you don't have to hear the crinkles. Okay, first thing I want to do, now that the bag is open, I want to separate them by size. Because, you know, I ordered a whole bunch of 14, 16, 18, 20 millimeter sizes, because those are the ones I use the most. So there are 2 things that I ordered that aren't crochet related, and they're next in the bag. So I got a neck fan. So I thought for outdoor markets this year that'd be kind of nice to have, or even, you know, when I'm sitting on the back deck and crocheting. And then I got one of these cool balls for Larry. It moves on its own, so you charge it, and every once in a while it moves, and it piques their interest. So we'll see if he likes it. You have to order so much dollars off of Temu in order for them to ship it, so it's usually $35, and so I needed a few items because I placed 2 orders. And then here are the keychain ring thingies, clips. I didn't want to do key ring, as I said, because they're a pain in the butt. And then I thought these would go really well with the colorful loop thingies that I ordered. So I really like the colors in this. I think there's 30 in here, and that's why I did 30 keychains. Oh, this is 50, but the little ring thingies, I only have 30 because that's what they came in. I'm pretty sure. I'm really hoping there's not 50 because then I'd feel obligated to do 50 keychains. Okay, yeah, this only has 30. The rings only have 30, so yay. And then once I finish the 30, honestly, the extra 20 of these I might just donate to another small business. I don't have the patience for these keychains. I know I could be supporting small businesses who hand paint safety eyes. I know that. And I would absolutely love to be supporting them, but I'm not paying $5 for one pair of safety eyes. I understand the work that goes into it. I've watched videos on YouTube. I get it. I would charge $5 per pair too, if not more. But if I'm selling a lot of the plushies for, you know, $15, that's still $5 plus shipping that's going into safety eyes. So ordering from Temu, honestly, is my best bet right now. Judge me if you want, but that's just the way it has to be. So, woohoo. Yeah, people are really judgmental online about stuff like that, but you can have your own opinions. I have to do what's best for my money making. So, what I want to do next is put all of these safety eyes into the little containers that I have of this container thingy. But I'm not going to bore you with that. I will time lapse it for you, but there's enough rambling in this video. Okay, so I have almost everything into my little organizer. Of course, there was a lot of things I couldn't fit in, and I'll show you those. So, not counting these little plastic packs, obviously, but I couldn't fit all of these in, so I'm just going to leave them to the side for now. Something that was very annoying is some of them came where all the pieces were in the baggie instead of, you know, like how I prefer it, which would be like this, where all the little paper pack thingies are in a baggie, so I just like that more, because if they're all mixed like that, then they're bent and just boo, it sucks. So I'm thinking that the extra little pink paper thingy we had came from this one, because it's the same size at 18mm, and the baggie is a little bit open. So I'm assuming that's where it's coming from. That was the only baggie that's open, so I'll have to find that little pink piece as I put it somewhere, and I'll put it into this baggie here. But I can't fit everything into the little organizers, and what I'm considering doing is actually going to the dollar store again and grabbing one more of these little drawer organizer thingies. They're only $4 at Dollarama. I never really loved the dollar store very much until probably about 2 years ago. They built a brand new one in our small town, and it's much bigger than the original dollar store, which is still standing, but that one was very, very tiny and very squished. So the new Dollarama is between two of our grocery stores, and it's very massive, and I spent a lot of money there. Well, I shouldn't say a lot of money, but I spent a lot of time there. You know, being unemployed, there was, you know, the first like 2 weeks of unemployment was really tough mentally. So what I'd ended up doing, I went to the dollar store 3 or 4 times, and I looked at every single thing they had there. I spent like 2 hours one day and, you know, just looked around in each aisle just to see what they have, and, you know, if anything sparked an interest for me. So I know what's there now, which is pretty cool. And of course it changes seasonally, but what can you do? So if you see my computer screen back there, I ran a new computer. Oh, well, terrible timing, but if you would have seen it, that is what came with this. So these, I wasn't sure what size it was, so I had to go and look. So remember earlier I was talking about how some of the shanks are square and some of them are rounded at the tip. So that was like the interesting part about this. Some of them, so size 12mm, there's 2 different compartments of 12s, and I was like, that's weird. But turns out one is square and one is rounded. I really don't know the difference. Does it make a difference? Not really, because it's inside the plushie. Maybe it makes a difference on the backings. I don't know. But I can tell a lot of these backings are messed up because there's different sizes on each little piece. So honestly, these ones might end up being ones that I hot glue in. This clip that I am going to film is us assembling the keychains together. So I look forward to that. Don't mind the mess on my computer desk. This is basically everything that I use daily, so I'm not moving anything. So, in an earlier clip, I was talking about these key ring thingies. I didn't want to do a beaded chain because I hate those. So these ones here, I'm hoping they're easier to maneuver. See, I was hoping they'd be easier, but maybe not. So let's try a different one, because maybe it's just that one that's stuck. Honestly, maybe I don't have the hand strength to do these. Hopefully I can get one so I can... Oh, there it goes. Okay. So I was doing the other one wrong. That was a terrible example to show you, because my shirt's also black, and this one's black too. So, oh well. So, basically, they have these little... Where's my camera? On that side. These little screwy pieces. And then they kind of just, like, screw together. Which is nice, rather than the beaded chain, because I just hate beaded chains. Hate them on jewelry. I've hated them when I was a kid. So these just, you know, screw together. So, yay. So what I would like to do is, I'm going to do the keychains, you know, like style by style. So right here I have all 5 bees, and I want to match, of course, the ring thingies to the colors of the bees. Okay, so these lobster clasps, they're definitely not like portioned out, only because there's only one of this like dark purple, which is fine. It's okay. I don't really mind. And there's very few red, which I'm happy about because, you know, I hate the color red. There's lots of white, which is great. Not a lot of black, but that's okay. So they're not really portioned out, but I really don't mind. These always remind me of McDonald's Happy Meal toys from the 90s, because a lot of these had the plastic, or a lot of them had the plastic lobster clips. I think I'm going to go with the brown, actually. So that matches pretty nicely to the bee. So there's the brown, and then there's like a periwinkle purple. So I think the brown actually looks the best. So, okay, I did not realize that my phone had stopped recording. I had received a call, but my phone's on silent, so I missed the call, and therefore the video stopped. And I was saying that I was going to do one more of these on camera. So I did this one, so I'm just going to do another one for you to fulfill my promise. Okay, so here's like the lilac colored bee. I think this one might be a little bit harder to match, so I think I'm just going to do white with this one. Then we'll have to find a keyring that matches. Okay, so there is a black. I have a few blacks, so I think I might do a black. And yeah, I guess I'll stick with the black lobster clasp as well. Okay, so it's nice that these just like screw apart. I think that'll be easy for people, you know, to, you know, readjust if they need to, or if they want to take off the lobster clasp and just put the wire thingy on their bag or purse or backpack or whatever. I guess I'm just going to feed it through there. Trying to do it right in the middle of the bee so it, you know, balances out nicely. These wires are pretty sturdy, so that's really nice. It's nice that they're sturdy, but it's a little bit tricky. I don't think it'd be tricky if it was right in front of me, but since I want to show you what I'm doing here, it's a little bit more tricky. Okay, and then these little thingies. Sorry, I'm wearing a black shirt, so that's difficult. You can just easily put into the animal, and then it's hidden, so it's nice. So that's one. Well, technically that's 3 done. So I'm going to film the outro now, but at the same time I'm going to show you the turtles that I finished yesterday. So these are the $15 turtles. I call them the palm turtles. These ones I did put weighted pellets in because the first ones I made, they kind of like slumped forward because the head was heavier. So the weighted pellets make that better. So there you go. And the green I used there is spring grass. All Bernat blanket, of course. Thank you so much for watching this video. I know it's long, But I was thinking to myself, I haven't done one of these like whole week of crochet type things before. And I love watching them from other people. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to do that. I made 2 with dark green. This is the color malachite or malachite. I don't know how you pronounce it. But I've heard other people on YouTube say that their dark green turtles never sell. So I was curious. So I did 2. This one's like more natural turtle, so I think he'll sell. So we'll see. So I got 10 of them done. I believe that's all the Amberroomi projects I'm going to make like for this video this week. Just because I want to make some other stuff for the Niagara market. Okay, I can't hold all these. I can hold 3 at a time. So here's the other 3. I really like this one. This is like a newer blanket yarn. It's called, well, not blanket, it's called Easter egg, I believe, or Easter or something, but it's really pretty. I need to stop saying but it's early in the morning. So again, thanks for watching my video. I appreciate it. Let me know if do you like these type of videos, like these really long length videos, because without this outro, right now we're at 1 minute, oh my god, 1 hour 9 minutes plus this outro. So let me know if you like these videos. I do like filming them because it's nice to document my week and what I have made and to see that I have been productive, because in my brain I'm never productive enough. It's just my whole life. So it's nice to have these finished, and they're just so cute, and just they're a great addition to somebody's shelf or bedside table because they're so small and so cute. And turtles are still very popular, so adorable, and I wanted to make more. So this is by, these are the same ones I showed earlier in the first part of the clips. It's by Katrina's Designs, I believe, on YouTube. But I'll put this little screenshot thingy up here because it's still on my editing thingy, obviously. So I have those finished. The other thing I have been making this week, but you'll see in a different video, more depth, are bucket hats for my Niagara market. And they're turning out so cute. I never really followed a pattern for these. I just kind of freehanded a bunch of them, and they're all a little bit different, but pretty much similar. And I think they're adorable, so it's gonna be great. So we'll talk about those in a different video, but this was a good video to do this week just because I have those 2 big markets coming up. Not this coming weekend, like tomorrow, today's Friday, the 25th of April. So this video will be going out in 2 days. So it was nice to film this week for myself, just keep myself on track and keep motivated, and you know, show you guys how my process has been for this Amigurumi stuff. Never did I think earlier this year that I'd be like, oh, I'm gonna make Amigurumi for some markets, but then I lost my job and needed something to focus on, something new to hyper focus on, and this was it. And as Anne said a few weeks ago, it does become addicting, so you were very much right. But you know, it has been nice to have this to focus on and, you know, keep my brain occupied. So no news on the job front yet. I've had a few interviews, but my husband's been telling me, like, you know, be picky about what you do next. You know, you really want to enjoy it like as much as you did your last career job. So we'll see if I find anything, but we'll see. That's all I can say. But I have been enjoying, you know, doing the markets and stuff, and that's been my social time, and, you know, just taking a slower pace to my days, which has been nice. And now that I have a good routine established for my day and for Larry's day, it's been a lot easier. At first it was a big adjustment, just because, you know, if I got him up at 7 a.m. he was an a-hole all day, but now he sleeps until 10 a.m. while I do this video editing and stuff and my morning routine, and then he's good for the day. I guess he just needs lots of sleep, but he's turning 2 in June, so he's still technically a puppy. But yeah, it's been an adjustment, but like things are much better now, so yay. I do look forward to having the summer off, if I don't find a job before then. We don't do a whole lot in summer, as I was mentioning earlier in this clip or this video, that my asthma suffers terribly in the humidity, but usually I can stand it for about half an hour at a time, then we move back outside. So it's nice to have the routine established. I'm gonna end it here because I've been rambling now for 5 minutes in this clip. So if you could let me know if you did make it to the end, feel free to, you know, leave a comment. I would love to know if you like this style of video, if you like the length, if you want to keep it shorter, if there's other things you'd like to see from my week, etc. I'm open to it because I want to do a few more of these like weekly chatty type of vlogs because it was fun for me. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great day, and please remember that you are strong, you are beautiful, you are loved, and the world appreciates having you here. I'll see you next Sunday.